Hey boys and girls, Squee913 here, and welcome back to Let's Read Lone Wolf Dungeons of Torgar, whatever. So, you guys did your voting stuff, and overwhelmingly this time chose Squeen. You guys chose Squeen. I guess you got tired of getting our mind torn to shreds every episode. So, and of course you're obviously working towards the circle of spirit. God, what is wrong with me today? So you chose Squeen, and for the new weapon you chose a warhammer. Yay! And that's pretty much it. We're done now. Looking at many of my special items, see if there's any I don't need, because kind of running out of room. I only have one spot left. If I have to, I'll get rid of the psychic ring and maybe the platinum amulet, because I don't remember if those actually do anything in the future. Everything else is pretty necessary though. Alright, so 6 arrows, 10 crowns, blah de blah de blah. Okay, I think we're good to go, folks. Endurance points 40, combat skill 27. Let me just enter this stuff in here. Hang on. Okay, we're back. I fixed everything, got everything all set up, good to go. Alright, so I don't worry about this stuff because that's in the permanent record, but all the good stuff's in here. Shall we begin? Let's see now. Where are the numbered sections? There we go. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give you guys fair warning. I'm going to do something a little different in this book. There are 2 paths that I generally take, even though you can only take one, mainly because I'll get more into detail later, but there's a really cool section of this book that's really hard to get to, and if you have to take the right kind of path, and to be honest, it's more the boring path. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do part of the story, do one path, and then go back and do the other path, and just connect them like you did one after the other. I don't normally do that, but it's a really cool part of the book, and it comes into play much later in the series, so I really wanted to get that into the Let's Read. So just letting you guys know, I'm sure you guys won't mind a little extra content. It is dawn on Midsummer's Day when you ride out of Tao. Since your victory over Zakan Kima, your appearance in the palace, and the public place, has been enough to provoke spontaneous cheering from the Taoris, who regard you as their savior. Oh yeah, you guys were all ready to string me up a couple weeks ago. But on this warm, sunny morning, you leave the city unnoticed, for on this occasion you appear to be just another messenger. The army uniform you wear and the white horse you ride are part of an elaborate deception conceived by the Elder Magi. In order to make Dark Lord Nag believe that you are returning to Summerlund, you have given your Kai cloak and tunic to your friend Baindon. Disguised as you, he will leave for Summerlund aboard his flying ship Skyrider this afternoon. A formal ceremony is planned to mark his departure, and another awaits his arrival on King's Citadel at Holmgard. Nag has vowed to kill you. It is a vow which has become an obsession, like a obsession that torments him like a poisoned wound. It is hoped that Baindon's much publicized flight home will lure Nag's vengeful eyes away to the north and raise your chances of success at Torgar considerably. Your ride ends in Firma, where you catch a barge downriver to the port of Talon. There, you hear news of a rebellion in Barakish, the Vasagonian capital, and reports of the sudden withdrawal of all Vasagonia's troops from the lands she invaded early in the war. It bodes well for the continuing struggle against the Dark Lords, for Vasagonia was their only major ally. You spend one night in Talon before buying passage aboard a merchantman on its way along the Tintarius. 5 days later, you disembarked at Garthen, the capital of Telestria. Telestria was overrun in the early days of the war, but the neighboring country of Palmyran came quickly to her aid. The armies of Telestria and Palmyran united and fought the invading horde, led by warlord Zegron of Orgaia. on the battle plains of the northern Garthen. God, there's like just name after name after name. For 3 days and 3 nights the bitter struggle raged, and the allies were sorely pressed to withstand the overwhelming numbers of the enemy ranged against them. But on the morning of the 4th day, the unexpected arrival of the dwarven army of Bor was to seal Zergron's doom. His mighty force crumbled, and the survivors fleeing northwards in chaos were pursued relentlessly. The latest news tells of the Allies' capture of Xenar, a major Ogayan stronghold, and their continued advance westward along the Black Shroud Trail. So things are looking up. Looks like we're taking the offensive in this war, huh? The royal court of Queen Yvain would be honored to assist you, but secrecy is paramount to the success of your quest, and so you shun the royal palace and take lodgings instead at the humble dockside tavern. There you arrange transportation to Iru aboard a brigantine bound for Humboldt, the Irurian capital. And leave the next day on the noon tide. Upon your arrival, you make your way to the city's ancient quarter, where the elder magi have arranged a clandestine meeting with Prince Gregor. In the cellar of a disguised warehouse, the young prince waits patiently for your coming. Like you, he is dressed in the clothes of a messenger in order that he can walk the streets of his city incognito. He welcomes you with a salute and brings his hand diagonally across his chest and assures you that your true identity is known only to him. For over an hour you discuss your plans and listen to the prince recount some of the events that have disturbed the peace of Iru. 2 years ago, Drakarm renegades from the Hammerlands attacked and overran his northern city of Lomé. The inhabitants were slaughtered, and the holy temple of Lomai, I guess it's Lomai, around which the city was founded, was looted and burnt to the ground. Only recently did he learn from the elder magi that the ancient temple held the lore stone of Lomai. One of the 3 lore stones now locked in Torgar. At the time of the attack, the prince's army was too small to repel the invaders, and he was forced to abandon the city, as well as the border town of Ketza. But in the past month, he has joined forces with King Sarnak of Lindencia, and together they have recaptured Luamai and driven Baron Shinzar and his Hammerland rebels all the way back to Ketsa, within 30 miles of the border. It's like in this book he just wanted to throw words in there just to screw me up. Oh, Joe Dever. Crazy author, you. The prince invites you to accompany him to Lomai, where he is to resume command of his army and lead them to battle. He provides you with a fine Urian steed and a new disguise that will enable you to travel through Iru without drawing undue attention to yourself. Dressed as a Urian pathfinder, one of the elite unit of woodsmen who operate in the harsh territories bordering the Hell Swamp, you ride north with the prince's entourage and arrive at the city 5 days later. Every house, stable, tavern, and municipal building is filled to overflowing with knights and men-at-arms. But despite their cramped billets and meager rations, the soldiers of Iru and Lincia are in good spirits, for tomorrow they march against a foe they have already beaten in battle, and are most eager to finish the job once and for all. You give lodgings within the main citadel of Luamai, and later are given that evening, after the prince has attended a war conference with King Saranac, you meet in private to discuss the next stage of your quest. There are 2 ways to reach Torgar, says the prince, as you study the map given to you by the Synod of Tau. You can cross the river Brol and make your way northwards through the Magador forest, or you can go to the Pisari and seek out Seb Gerald. He is a leader of the brave band of partisans who have ambushed and resisted the Drakarms ever since they invaded. If there is a path to Torgar between the Hellswamp and the Isle of Ghosts, he will know it. You ponder your choices and wonder why the prince has not suggested the simplest route of all, north across the Isle of Ghosts. When you mention this, he shakes his head ominously. The isle is cursed, he says, pointing at the map with an accusing finger. Few have ever come out of that dreadful place alive, and those poor wretches who have survived, only one has kept grip of his sanity. His name is Seb Gerald. Next day, you rise with the dawn and prepare to set off on your journey to Torgar. There are 2 routes open to you. You can ride to Parisy and seek out Seb Gerald, the partisan leader, and the only man who can guide you through the treacherous wilderness, or you can accompany Prince Gregor to battle at Ketsa. If his army beats the Drakarm and forces them to retreat, the way across the River Bro will be opened, and you will be able to approach Torgar under the cover of the Magador Forest. Consult the map before you decide your route. Alright, so here's the map. So here's Torgar. Okay, so we are right here at Lumai. We can either go to Parisy and then go around the Hell Swamp to Torgar. We can go to Ketsa and then go up the road to Torgar through the Magador Forest. Now here's what I'm going to do. Normally, if you take the Parisy road and you screw it up, you can end up getting lost in the Isle of Ghosts, and then you can make your way through. So there's actually a third option. You just don't know about it yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Ketsa, because that's really fun, and then I'm going to pretend I got lost, and we're going to go through the Isle of Ghosts, because that's the extra section I wanted to talk about, or show you guys. And since this Let's Play is designed to show off things, that's where we're going to do it. So we're going to go to the battle, because battles are fun. We're going to accompany Prince Gregor to the Battle of Ketsa. Could be Setsa, but I'm going with Ketsa. Since the first rays of dawn light brightened the eastern sky, the streets of Luamai echoed to the shouts of sergeants and crunch of booted feet. The regiments of Lenencia and Iru are taking their places in the column of march, and by mid-morning the column of 6,500 strong is ready to leave for battle. Company by company through the city's east gates they depart, tramping the dusty road that leads to Ketsa. When the time comes for you to join them and take your place with Prince Gregor's escort, and fall in line behind the armored knights of the palace guard. And we got a picture of the banners of Lumanai and Lenencia, I believe. The army is well protected by Lencian horse scouts before, behind, and on both sides, to make sure it's not ambushed. Whilst crossing the 20 miles of open grasslands to Ketsa during the afternoon, a troop of scouts are sent ahead to spy on the enemy. They return to report that Baron Shinzar has fortified the town and received reinforcements from Black Shroud since his defeat at Luamai. The news does not cheer Prince Gregor, for he knows the ground around Ketsa does not favor the attacker. It is dusk when the army arrives on the outskirts of the town. In the gloom, you can see the enemy campfires flickering between the ruins of cottages that were destroyed when the Drakarm first invaded this land. Occasionally, their gruff voices can be heard on the chill evening wind as they shout orders and call the names of slaves and attendants. After a whole day, tiring days of marching, with night drawing close, the order goes round that there will be no battle offensive this evening. Quickly, the regiments disperse and many fires are lit. Tents are erected for the nights and the baggage carts are unloaded to provide the men with stores that should make their night in the open less uncomfortable. The prince chooses to position his headquarters on a hill to the north that overlooks the town. King Saranac of Lencia chooses a similar position on a hill beyond the road, half a mile to the south. Shortly after the tents are constructed, a message arrives from King Saranac's headquarters inviting the prince to join him and draw up plans for tomorrow's battle. The prince accepts the invitation and says that you may accompany if you wish. Do you wish to accompany the Prince King Saranac's headquarters? Yeah! Sure! Let's do it! Let's accompany people to do stuff. Yay! In the company of a dozen bodyguards, the court heralds you follow the prince as he makes his way on foot to King Saranac's camp. It is his usual practice to inspect his soldiers on the eve of battle, to see for himself that all is well, and to raise their spirits with a few words of praise and encouragement. He is heartened to discover that your morale is already high, and that they are all confident that he will lead them to victory. At length you arrive at the Lencian headquarters. A huge yellow flag bearing the emblem of a white swan and blue dragon flutters in the breeze above the royal tent, where the unit of silver-clad knights stands stiffly to attention. A trumpet announces your arrival, and the knights escort you inside to meet the king. After formal greetings have been exchanged, the gray-haired king begins to discuss the impending battle. The prince has brought with him a detailed map of the town, and as the two leaders formulate their plans, it is used to mark the places where the regiments will assemble and attack the enemy.